You know, they say laughter is the best medicine, but can laughter really help conquer an addiction? This morning, we're talking to a panel of guests to talk about addiction and the recovery process. And of course, joining us, you know, Tara Connor, Miss USA 2006, and recovery advocate. Greg Hannley is here. He's the CEO and founder of SOBA Recovery Center. Craig Shoemaker is joining us as well this morning. He's a comedian. And of course, you know, actor Daniel Baldwin. It's good to see everybody. Thanks for coming this morning.
Happy to be back.
We're about to have some laughs this morning.
I'm
We're going to change it up
excited.
a little bit. What do you say?
This is fantastic. I laugh all the time. I laugh so hard, you know, it's usually a bad thing. But I know laughter helped you overcome some troubling things in your life, and you encourage laughter with everybody.
I do, and no matter what you're going through, I think to find more humor and more of that in your life. We were talking earlier about you were talking about the bucket.
Yeah. You know, when you have a basket of behaviors, and a lot of that in that basket are negative things as an addict or an alcoholic, we help you remove those things, but you need to replace healthy, fun, you know, positive things in that basket, or you're going to get bored and go back to using it again. So Craig has been able to identify with, and he teaches a class at SOBA that he teaches these young addicts, you know, there's joy in life and there's fun things that you can do, and laughing is a really healthy thing. It actually emits certain chemicals in your brain that the drugs were probably inhibiting while you were doing them. You don't realize that. So, you know, he's really taken this to a biophysical level, along with, it's really fun to laugh.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's good medicine. It's better than a needle, right? Right?
Absolutely.
I mean, what a way to go. I mean, it oxygenates your body when you laugh. Healing endorphins are released, and stress is relieved, which is a big cause of disease. And people don't realize that. We're so stressed out with the negative stuff that we're programmed with on television and radio. Everywhere you look, it's something dark.
Yeah.
And we're drawn to it. Why not be drawn to the light? And that's where we're trying to shift the consciousness in that direction. It's not going to all be, you know, the panacea for everything.
Sure.
But start to shift yourself to looking for the light.
Okay, so let's talk about that shift. I mean, were you always a fun, happy-go-lucky, laughing kind of guy, or did you have that period of darkness that you needed to get through?
Oh, I came from heavy darkness.
Yeah.
I mean, my dad left when I was born. I was like, something I said, wah, he's gone.
Yeah.
See, she's dark. She's dark. She's going to laugh at everything dark.
Yes.
Every dark story I tell. But we do connect that way.
Right.
Addicts and alcoholics, we connect that way because we understand the darkness that we come from.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's how my life started, and then it was a series. I was kidnapped and molested when I was a kid, and you know, you can't laugh at that directly, but you can still you can't live in that misery and live in that resentment, because that will cause you to drink and use.
Yeah.
So I had to learn how to forgive, and you get all these tools when you go to like SOBA, that gets you kick-started, and then you work a program, and it's just the most amazing life that I have today, 30 years sober.
Congratulations.
And it's an amazing way to live. And so what I found, I was inspired because my best friend got brain cancer, and they said you have 3 months to live, and I started these Laughter Heals programs, and he lived 15 years past that prognosis.
Wow.
So he does a Laughter Heals group at SOBA.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
the other thing is that Craig isn't just a comedian, he's a doctor. So he actually knows what he's doing when he's doing these groups.
So let me ask you though, when you're sitting down with these young kids, young women going through the recovery process, and you come in and you're like, hey, today we're gonna laugh. Do they just stare at you like, really?
Yeah. They absolutely.
I know, right? So how do you get past that?
Greg teases me because I was ready to quit. I work in cancer facilities and wounded warriors, and the caregivers actually need it more than sometimes the patients.
Yeah.
But everybody needs this. It's like the best medicine. So open up and say ha ha, you know. But I've found that these are very, very difficult. They're right off the turnip truck. I mean, they were just using like a minute ago.
Yeah.
And they were like, "What are you talking about, laughter?" And it was really difficult. So I was ready to quit one day, and someone just shifted me. They said, "Why don't you just tell your story?" And then I tell the story. And it's self-deprecating. I mean, I have so many stories that are about my failures. I can relate to that. It's all laughter is. You just relate to something. I have a million failures in my life. No one wants to hear about your Emmys. You know.
We're so drawn to the wrong stuff. I know, right?
Mine are jogging weights. No, nobody cares about my Emmys. As a matter of fact, one of the most humiliating times of my life, I won an Oscar of comedians. I won Comedian of the Year American Comedy Awards. It was literally, I was like national TV, ABC. I'm thinking everybody's going to love me now. That's all you want is love, you know.
Right.
They hated me. The only thing was heighten the resentment of other comedians.
Yeah.
I became the hack that year. I might as well have had a ventriloquist dummy. I mean, so I had a limo that night, and it was the loneliest night of my life. And the guy goes, "Where do you want to go?" I go, "Oh, I don't know. Let's go to the Comedy Store." I don't even go to the Comedy Store, but there I walked in with my award. I was never so humiliated in all my life. So it's all what I wanted was these trophies and things. But now I get myself.
Right.
And that's all the goal is just be more authentic and more real and have more purpose.
Yeah.
And this purpose has shifted into working here at the recovery at SOBA.
Yeah, it is such a cool connection. And I love, Greg, because you know so many fantastic people who have gone either through your rehab or who have a similar story. And they all come back sort of to give back and to offer, what they have of themselves to other people going through the same situation.
Well, there's some... Oh, go ahead, Greg.
Once in a while, too, Craig and I were doing something else, and then people discover what we do at SOBA, and then they offer to do something that has to do with them. So I've had people doing acting in recovery, laughter in recovery, art in recovery, that are major people from those particular venues. And it keeps a good mix on things so people don't get bored while they're there.
And they're filling their basket, like you said, with new things.
Well, what also happens when you've had the ability, like the four of us have, and five of us, to have risen to a certain level in your career and everything, there's those people that see the fact that the village needs a well and they write a check. And then there's people that do the fundraiser to raise money with several people to write more and more checks. And then one day you realize, maybe I'm going to go down there with a shovel and help them dig it.
Yeah.
And you go down there and you get a real appreciation at being at the fundamental level. Well, that's where he's at now in his recovery, and that's what he does. He's there, ground zero, where it's happening when they're raw and in their most need. And not that there's anything wrong with being the guys, but for this team right here, we go right where it's at. We don't sell you get the money for the hose. We hold the hose with the fireman and shoot it and put the fire out.
And let them know we're one of them.
Absolutely.
Now when I'm walking up, I was ready to quit. And someone said, "Why don't you just share your experience more instead of like taking them through these trainings that I usually do?" Because they were like, "No, I'm not doing that." Because the first thing is resistance. And then I go, "What is your resistance?" I was like getting clinical with them, like, "Who is this jackass?" But then I started to share these stories, and then now I walk up. I was in the parking lot the other day. The laughter guy's here. I can't wait for this group. And now they're all in the group. We're all laughing together and sharing stories, and they're dark stories too. I said, take yourself back to the time you laughed, and then tell that story in your life. And then they're sharing these stories, and some of them are really dark, but we identify with it and we relate to it. And it's such a better way to, I think we all need to do it, by the way. I would like to, I train other fun-facilitators, by the way.
Fun-facilitators.
So if you'd ever like to be a fun-facilitator, you come see me.
I want to know more about that. I want to know more about what you're doing. And for those of you who are just checking in with us this morning, there are SOBA facilities around the country. There's also one right here in San Antonio. So if you're watching and if you're having a problem with addiction, if you're ready to make that commitment to recovery, call or text the number on your screen. It's 210-727-2692, SobaTexas.com for more. We'll be right back.
Sometimes we do things for the thrill. Sometimes we do things for survival. There have been different points in my life where I didn't know if I would survive. Seek humility, or it will find you. I have faced many fears, confronted many challenges. Having the courage to overcome the beast of addiction is by far the biggest victory of my life. True victory is victory over oneself.
Welcome back. He is the writer of an animated cartoon called Bad Zoo, and he's also joining us to share how laughter helps in recovery. Craig Shoemaker is joining us, along with our regular crew from SOBA. Of course, you know Tara Connor, Greg Hannley, actor Daniel Baldwin. We talked a little bit about laughter and how there's actual science behind the fact that it really helps us feel better. But let's talk a little bit more about you, because I know you have this animated series about animals and recover. Like, what's the connection?
Well, we're here with SOBA, but in the cartoon Bad Zoo, it's called SOPA. Saving our pets' asses. And so it's pets that are in rehab. They're in rehab for drugs, alcohol, Netflix,
Well, there's some bad pets.
whatever they're addicted to. SOPA will help them.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love
And
that.
Alex is the creator of it.
Yes?
Yeah.
Look at that. Who knew? We'll bring him in shortly for sure. I know you're also working on a documentary, but is that off limits? We're not allowed to talk about it?
No, I'd love to
bring
talk
it
about
up.
it.
All
Anyone
right.
wants to be involved in it. What we're doing is we're taking 7 patients with various illnesses through our laughter programs over 90 days, and we're going to take them on a pilgrimage to the happiest places on the earth.
Oh, where are you going?
Bhutan, where their gross national product is happiness. The happy Hunzas in the Himalayas. India, they have 5,000 laughter clubs. Instead of Starbucks, they go and laugh. Denmark is the second happiest country in the world.
Wow.
And we're going to take them there and watch them heal before our eyes, because we have a doctor monitoring the results. We're going to talk to physicians. It's kind of like the journey of the Wizard of Oz in mind, body, and spirit. Scarecrow, Tin Man, and Lion. We're going to talk to the scarecrows. Those are the scientists. Talk about what it does to you neurologically when you laugh. We'll talk to the physicians, what it does to your circulatory system and your heart. And then we'll talk to the consciousness leaders that talk about the spirit, what it does to your soul to laugh. And we need so much more of it. In the documentary, we're going to start a laughter movement and have the world laugh as one. What a vision.
I feel like I'm behind. I need to get in on
George
this.
Carlin tour bus.
Nice. So Craig teaches a class at SOBA about laughter and how it can help you overcome, tough times. Do you agree with that, Tara?
I absolutely agree with that.
Did you always agree with that, or did you have to learn the laughter?
Well, I actually, in the beginning of my sobriety journey, I didn't know how to laugh. Like, I was very fake, and I was kind of a chameleon, and I would be who I thought you wanted me to be, right? So I never really knew what my real laugh sounded like, and then I found out in rehab that it's quite obnoxious, but but it's boisterous, and especially what they were talking about earlier. When we can relate to one another and normalize the tragic things that have happened in our lives, then we can really heal. Because if we don't normalize the trauma, then we can't get over it.
Yeah.
And I think that that's something that Craig does very well, and even Daniel and this one right here. Like, we have
Even Daniel.
Even Daniel laughs every now and
we
then.
have such a good
Even the
time.
miserable one, Daniel. Even he could throw a chuckle in now and then.
No, but it's true. I mean, it really does heal the soul. And if I can't laugh at my mistakes, then
Yeah.
I'm just a big fuddy-duddy. Like, I don't want to be a fuddy-duddy.
By the way, I have a question for the ladies here. Do you know I read a survey, the #1 quality a woman is looking for a man is what?
Funny.
Sense of humor. By the way, I don't believe you. I've been doing comedy for years. Women are in the front row throwing panties, telling them jokes, comedy boy. Oh,
It is-
you are
you're
doing
so
it for
true,
me.
though. Yeah.
You kidding? I do laughter for her, and she gags.
No. You did the Love Master, and I gagged.
baby.
Oh, I like that. This is interesting stuff.
Oh, I'll
How
have
did
you,
that survey go?
I'll have you begging like PBS on the pledge drive, baby. Oh yeah.
So, of course, laughter is key when it comes to recovery. She's just looking at you like, wait, what? What's going on over
But
here?
laughter is a key.
Yeah, it is key.
I'm a minister, an ordained minister. I marry people in ha-ha-trimony. Because, listen, it all goes. Everything goes, okay? If you're
you
attracted
still
to
got the
someone's rear
laughs,
end, that
right?
rear end is going to be down here someday, okay?
It's
So
true.
what are you going to be attracted to? The only sustainable thing in life is a sense of humor. and a sense of self, and that's the only thing that's ever going to carry you through your marriage.
Yeah.
Ever. I mean, so why not make it the #1 priority?
Absolutely.
That's what we're trying to bring to SOBAs, where we do these workshops where they participate in finding the laughter and finding your joy.
And show them that it's okay to laugh at dark things. Because I know that I would chuckle at some things, or I would be repulsed because it was touching something within me that I related to.
Right.
But when I realized that, oh my gosh, there are other people that can laugh at the same things that I laugh at on the inside, it just made it okay. And that's where you kind of find that fellowship and camaraderie, and it's good.
So here's the thing, if you're looking to find that fellowship, if you want to be like the people you see here on our couch this morning, you can. You know, it all starts with a phone call. We're here in San Antonio to help you at Soba Texas. Look at your screen, call or text, super simple. 727-2692. We have more when we come back. Welcome back. We're talking about addiction and recovery with the gang from SOBA this morning. Also with us is comedian Greg Shoemaker, who teaches a laughter class at SOBA, something that has helped him in his recovery. Greg also has a magazine out called Recovery Today. A lot of great information in there. You can watch some of the segments on YouTube, direct links straight through the magazine. But there's an interesting article in Recovery Today about why romance turns toxic. And to me, I feel like everyone's had that relationship, myself included, right? It's a bad romance. It happens to all of us.
Yes.
But when you're going through recovery, that's one of the things that you really have to assess and make some changes in your life. Why is it important, Greg, that the people in your life sort of, you got to look at it all, right? And you got to decide who stays and who goes.
Well, yeah, you're not going to be attached to your using friends, even though there's some confusion on those relationships when there's people that you were getting high or drinking with a lot. And, you know, new in recovery, there's so many different opinions on things, but it's a lot of young people in recovery, and they're going to get together. So instead of fighting it, we tried to help them manage it. And unfortunately, what you consistently see is people new in recovery that get in new relationships with other new people.
It's like buying a car at a junkyard.
Yeah, usually doesn't end well.
You run them until they drop.
I was putting it a little differently. But,
It's a great analogy.
It really is, but it's definitely something that has to be addressed and looked
Part of
at.
the issue is we are, as human beings, programmed. And what is great about the program of recovery is you are deprogramming a lot of the things that lead to bad things. I mean, I was raised in Philadelphia. You know, romance was in Philadelphia. Hey, relax, honey. There ain't no cars coming. I said to my friend Bobby, you ever seen a woman to a chick flick? He goes, of course I have. Not all girls are into porno, though. That's how I was brought up with romance. But now, an authentic self has emerged from working a program. This thing that always wanted to be there. This light always wants to shine in all of us. And that's what places like SOBA, it starts you off on that path of recovery and gives you the tools that we do not have. People don't give us these tools.
No,
That's
and
what
I've
we're
been in a
handed.
lot of relationships in sobriety, and I don't think that I was well equipped for one until I was about 9 years, because I had to learn how to love myself 100% before I could bring someone else to love me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Well, I think one of the other things that's really compelling that Craig gives is how many of you will watch a video of a dog chasing its tail and you crack up?
Yeah.
But to the dog, he's really chasing after his tail and trying to catch his tail, and he's never going to get it. And so Craig gives them the ability to look at how bizarrely crazy the pursuit of whatever it is that they were after by using drugs and alcohol, to the point where you can look at it in his perspective, and he gives this perspective to these clients at SOBA and say, you know, it's almost ironic and funny in some ways what ends we were willing to go to. I mean, I do look at some of the things I did and the stories I told. No, baby, I swear to God, the car went off the bridge, but I held on. You know, well, why isn't your car? Well, the car, they'll find it later. And that's what took me 4 more days to get home. isn't the bridge 4 miles away? Yeah, but I get the ankles bad.
And that reminds me, one of the tools that we give is I tell them, instead of dealing drugs, deal some funny videos. So I make sure that these people that are in the treatment, I say, share funny videos with all of us. And what a fun thing to share. That's what they're doing now.
I can imagine.
And put smiles on their face, and what a wonderful way to live.
Absolutely. Recovery is something that you really can't do alone. You need help, you need guidance, you need a team like SOBA. They're right here in San Antonio. The phone number to call or text is on your screen. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We've been chatting with our friends from Soba Texas, a recovery facility in the Texas Hill Country. We brought in Alex Dragici. He's the director of operations. He is always answering the phones, texting while we're all over here chatting, having a good old time. If people are watching today, Alex, I know you connect with a lot of folks all the time. What do you want them to know about making that first phone call?
We don't have to make the first phone call.
Or
That's
text.
the most important part.
Yeah.
You can actually just text.
Yeah.
You can call, reach out, text, and if you want to schedule a tour to come out and see what it's like, we love everybody to come out. So.
You know, you guys really do embrace the entire community, and you've really done so much for the community since you've been here. I've heard so many great things about the facility and people who have come through the facility. It really just is a testament to your mission. It really is.
Yeah.
Well, you know, now that the facility has had years, it's branched way out throughout Texas, throughout the country. People are coming from all over the place to come to this facility.
Yeah, I had a friend from my hometown just go.
Really?
Yep, from Kentucky.
That is fantastic
I
to
should tell you,
hear.
I'm sober 30 years, and I've experienced a lot, and connecting with this facility has been so beautiful for me, and it's an incredible experience, and they really do it right.
Greg, thank you so much for coming in this morning and sharing your thoughts on laughter. Thank you guys all for being here as usual. If you are looking to connect with our friends from SOBA, look at your screen right now, guys. All it takes is a simple text. Alex will get right back to you literally in minutes. The phone number is 210-727-2692, sobatexas.com for more.
People think courage is simply walking through fear. Courage is not running from yourself. I believed getting sober meant I would lose my edge. Turns out, I was wrong. I only surrendered the things that were holding me back. But all those fears I've faced over the years pale in comparison to the courage it took me to get sober. When you think your world is falling apart, it's actually coming together. I have found my freedom and will do anything to protect it. And so can you.